biggest product launch in months is just about here. The Apple Watch becomes available to the masses on Friday. As with most Apple releases, many are wondering if it can live up to the hype. So joining us now to discuss that is Gene Munster, Senior Research Analyst at Piper Jaffray. Gene, great to speak with you.
Hello.
So how do the reviews of the Apple Watch affect your outlook on the stock, if at all?
Well, they're kind of in line with our expectations, and I would say that they're generally neutral to slightly positive. I think that most of the reviews have showed that this is a new paradigm. It's going to probably take a little bit of time for consumers to understand the value of the watch, to become more oriented in terms of how the watch communicates with you. And so the reviews make us believe that this is going to have initially a good adoption from the Apple enthusiasts, but will probably take a little bit of time, a few quarters, for the average consumer to get excited about going out and buying one.
And your note states that about 1 million watches could be sold this weekend. Now, based on the reviews and based on your own experience with the watch, has that number changed at all? What's your opening weekend forecast? Is it still 1 million?
Yep, we're still at 1 million, and I think that really what that shows is that the Apple loyalists will come out in force, but ultimately, again, I think some of the value is going to be driven by some of these apps that still aren't out there. Most of the initial apps are going to be message delivered and are based on messaging, and so some of that value is relatively low, but over time, they're going to be more rich apps, which should continue to improve and accelerate those numbers. So we believe that the watch is going to be a huge category, 10+% of Apple's business, but it's going to take kind of 6 quarters to get there.
Wow, well, you just really, that was my next question for you, talking about your longer term outlook for the Apple Watch and how that equates with the iPhone user base as well.
Exactly. So we think that this ultimately is going to be a little bit more than 10% of revenue. The big breakout quarter is probably going to be the holiday of 2016, so 6 quarters into it. And so I think that really don't judge the success of the watch over the first few quarters, really judge it as more app developers come out there. To put it in context to their base of iPhone owners, we assume that about 8% of the iPhone base will buy watches, and that's based on survey work we've done over 10,000 people in the U.S. over the last year. And so that's kind of the substance of the numbers. Some people believe that number could be a little bit higher, some a little bit lower, but we're at 8% attach rate.
And so now I know that Apple's just really taking orders on this watch tomorrow, but looking out into the future, we've got tablets, we've got phones, now we've got wearables. What's the next big product category?
Well, beyond that, there's the 2 other really big categories for Apple. The next one is the TV. We've talked a lot about that. We've been wrong on the timing, but we still believe that they're going to do something that's revolutionary in the living room, and this is beyond the set-top box. We think they're actually going to do a panel. It's been 5 years since the last major product came out, since the iPad came out, so it takes a long time in between these products. And then beyond that, we think that there's this whole concept of augmented reality, which is even wearables to a new level. It's really the blending of technology in the real world. Think of Google Glass that you'd actually want to use. And so that's something that's on Apple's longer-term roadmap.
Well, Gene Munster, great to speak with you. Thanks for joining us. And imagine still buy rating on the stock, correct?
That's correct. $160 price target.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us. I'm Morgan Brennan. Have a great day.
Hey YouTube fans, I'm Landon Dowdy from CNBC. Thank you so much for checking out our channel. You can subscribe by clicking right here to check out the latest Mad Money CEO interviews, market news, financial advice, and product unboxing. Enjoy!